to showcase like human skill in performing the run, but more a technical skill. Right. So I guess I'm gonna start the task in a few moments.
Like we're supposed to be on a black screen right now?
Yeah.
So when you're ready, give me count in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So beginning the task on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Wii Party, released in 2008. So it's well, in that there's basically a lot of party games which you play as your Mii's in. In this instance, we're playing board game Island, which is the first of the main party games. And in that, for each round, you start off with a mini game that determines stuff like dice the players get and the order in which they have their turns, and then they move along the board. So for this first round, we've got Chop Chops, which is a vegetable chopping mini game, and it turns out that the Mii's in this game can actually chop vegetables really fast at a rate of about 12 per second, which means that we can get through this mini game really quickly. So the main thing which we're going to be showing off in this run is as a TAS like thing is RNG manipulation, because it's essentially something that you can do as TASs, which you can't do as normal runs, is that you can essentially modify exactly when you roll dice, for example, to determine that you get exactly the rolls that you want. So in this instance, we've gotten player 2 to specifically land on a UFO space and then swap places with player 1. And because player 1 hasn't had their turn yet after this round, this essentially allows us to put them further ahead by having player 2 come first and then land on the UFO space. Yeah, so it's just progressing along the board. The RNG manipulation is also applied to the minigames so that we can get short ones that don't take too much time to go through. Another thing to note with this is that we're using all 4 players rather than just one with CPUs, which is technically allowed within the rules on speedrun.com, so that we can have like a lot more control over exactly what dice rolls we get and getting the mini games to finish more quickly. Yeah. So we're moving into round 2 now. And
ladies and gentlemen, this is a pay-to-win announcement that Alfred D. Rose stopped. Please make your way to the lost and found desk at the West Building. Just repeating, Alfred D. Rose, if you could please make your way directly to the lost and found desk in the West Building. Thank you.
right, so you might have noticed with that second mini game that it's a game where you're meant to put jigsaw pieces of your Mii's face together, and the reason that we go through the Mii's one by one is actually because of a limitation of the tools I was using at the time of making this, rather than an actual time saver, because essentially you can't modify Wii remote rotation directly, and when you are changing it, you can only do one player at a time. So yeah, that was an unfortunate side effect. Nothing I could still do stuff, but unfortunately it wasn't as good a result. So usually a game of War Game Island would take around 45 minutes. That's the estimate casually. That's the estimate that Nintendo puts on it anyway. So now for this last mini game, you're meant to stop the barrels falling as late as possible, but in this case it's actually fastest to stop it as early as possible while still letting the values of height be unique for each player so that we don't have to go through extra dice rolls to determine when what placements they get. So this is so now player one's getting to the end. So it's just finishing up past this final challenge. Time ending soon. Time.
Surprise.
So, yeah, that was the task that I created for ASM this year. It was a interesting project to work on because since Wii Party doesn't have a major speedrun following, it meant that there was a lot more research I could do going into it that hadn't already been done, like stuff to discover while making it, and yeah. So that's the task block.